Hello, how are you? My name is Sara from Sara's Reading Nook, and today I'm going to be doing a really fun kind of video because I am going to be doing a VLOGTOBER TBR. Except these books were recommended to me by you on Bookstagram and on Twitter. Because fun fact, I love to read spooky books, but I never know which ones are good. So this is gonna be like a little game, okay? There are many books. In fact, you guys, sorry, there's a little fluff over there. So funny enough, you guys have recommended to me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Freaky 13. 13 books. And I'm sorry, but I probably am not going to be able to read 13 books in the month of October. Now, one of these books is a Top Shelf Society book. In fact, for who I said recommended it to me, I said everyone, everywhere, literally. So I proposed that book for our Top Shelf Society to read, and funny enough, it's already here. We are going to be reading it in October, and I formally invite you to join our Top Shelf Society in discussing our October Book of the Month. So again, that book is Mexican Gothic, and it's by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And I know very little about this one, but Goodreads describes it as an isolated mansion, a chilling charismatic aristocrat, and a brave socialite drawn to expose their treacherous secrets. Now, I haven't even read the book, but I live, breathe, think this book. I haven't been this excited about a new release for a very long time. So that is the first book that I'm going to be reading in October. And spoiler alert, I may start it in November. We'll see. So I'm writing this down. That is book number 1, Mexican Gothic. Okay, so now there are many books. However, I'm going to try and commit to reading 2 books a week. So I am doing 5 reading vlogs. That means 10 books. So now that just leaves us with 12 books to decide from. So I'm gonna have to knock off 2. So this is going to be the first round. So now I have 7 books that you all have recommended to me, and I am going to choose 4 of these for now. Now I am going to assign each one of these books a number, 1 to 6. So let's see, 1. I need a good pen, I need a good pen. Can you read this? Not really. Haha! Oh my gosh. I'll just write really dramatically. So we got a 1. So I'm gonna do that until I get to 6, and I'll be right back. 2. That's 2. 3. Now we're focusing. 4. 5. 5. 6. 6. I guess I'm gonna have to find a way to pick the number. So what I'm gonna do is screen capture this. So now we're gonna roll 1 dice, and we're gonna go until we have at least 4 books selected. And I got a 6. So let's see what book that is. Ah, yes! We're gonna do Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Okay, so Pet Sematary. What is this book about? Sometimes dead is better. What? Now there's an angry looking cat. Maybe not angry, maybe just grumpy. And it says a #1 New York Times bestseller, which, I mean, this is Stephen King. So can Stephen King scare even himself? What? When I'm asked what I consider to be the most frightening book I've ever written, the answer I give comes easily and with no hesitation: Pet Sematary. Literally, what have I gotten myself into? When Dr. Lewis Creed takes a new job and moves his family to the idyllic rural town of Ludlow, Maine, this new beginning seems too good to be true. And then they're talking about a makeshift pet cemetery. It's already kind of creepy. And there are warnings that he should not venture beyond the borders of this little graveyard. A blood-chilling truth is hidden there. Now I want to know what that's about. So, the second book I'm going to be reading in October is Pet Sematary. And it's not even that big. It's like around 394, so like 400 pages or so. I can do it. Okay, so now I'm going to roll the dice again, and let's see what we get. Remember, I'm trying to select 4 books. Okay, I am rolling. And now I have a 5. Okay. So let's see what book number 5 is. So number 5 is The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. So I have no idea what this book is about. Oh, by the way, Pet Sematary was recommended to me by... Oh, it actually wasn't recommended to me directly through Bookstagram or Instagram, but it was through Dasha from Mythic Pages from her video. And she appeared to really like this book, so I decided, why not? I've heard about Pet Sematary so much. Okay, so now back to this one, The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. That was recommended to me by... I'm not sure, but I'm going to look it up and I will shout you out here. This sounds really cool. So it sounds like there is a journalist, Fiona, who can't stop visiting or revisiting the events that surround her sister's death. 20 years ago, her sister's body was found, and her body was actually found near the ruins of Idlewild Hall. Her sister's boyfriend was tried and convicted of the murder, but Fiona thinks that something is up with that case. So now that Idlewild Hall is being restored, there are some events happening surrounding the renovations. And it says it will link the loss of her sister to secrets that were meant to stay hidden in the past and a voice that won't be silenced. So even though I haven't heard of this book before, I love hauntings. And so this is definitely something that I am excited to look for. So this is something I am definitely excited to read. I don't believe I have read Simone St. James before, but it says that she is the award-winning author of Lost Among the Living, which might be a cool other book to read. And in terms of how long this book is, it's about 300 and something pages. So there we go, book number 2, The Broken Girls. So now we are going to roll the dice for book number 3 of 4 that I'm selecting. So now I'm going back to the dice roller. So I am capturing this. Yes, I am. So I'm rolling my dice. And I have a number 1. Whoa, this looks scary. So number 1 here is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. So we got our book number 3, and it looks pretty short, so yes! I love a short book. So I'm writing it down, The Woman in Black. So who suggested this to me? So this book was suggested to me by none other than Tracy from Tracy's Books. Super excited to see what this one's about. It looks like this might be another haunting type book, which I am not complaining about. This is in fact exactly the type of book that I want to read. Okay. I want to read this like right now, but I'm going to have to wait to see how this goes and see if I can actually control myself so that I don't read this right now. So, Arthur Kipps is a junior solicitor summoned to attend the funeral of Mrs. Alice Drablaw, the sole inhabitant of Eel Marsh House. Unaware of the tragic secrets which lie hidden behind the shuttered windows, the house stands at the end of a causeway, wreathed in fog and mystery. But it is not until Arthur glimpses a wasted young woman, dressed all in black, at the funeral, that a creeping sense of unease begins to take hold, a feeling deepened by the reluctance of the locals to speak of the woman in black and her terrible purpose. Oh my gosh, I want to read this so bad, like right now. Like, one thing I love about hauntings and like haunting literature is that it's like watching Ghost Hunters, except instead of just like looking at like a black and green screen, just like waiting for like something to move in the background, You are like being transported to exactly the location where the investigations are happening, but they are all happening in your mind. So yes, this is book number 3, The Woman in Black. And I don't know about what you feel about this cover, but this guy looks pretty scared. So yeah, this is number 3. This is like so much fun. I did not really like look into these books so much, but you guys are picking some good things for me. Okay, so that was number 3. Okay, so the last book that I'm going to choose for now is book number 4. So I have 3 more candidates. So let's go back and see what we get. Okay, so I'm back at the dice. So I'm going to roll, I guess, a die. Okay, so rolling. And what do I get? Okay, I've already done 5, so I'm going to roll again. I already have 1, so I'm going to roll again. I should have known this would happen. Keeps going between 1 and 5. Okay, number 3. I'm excited about this one because I think it's a Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge book. So this is number 3, Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. So now this is a book that's been on my TBR for a while. And honestly, like, I know that there's like library barcodes and things on here, but even then I can get the gist that this is a pretty freaky book. So what is this about? Classic novel of spellbinding suspense where evil wears the most innocent face of all. I don't know. Okay, so this wasn't recommended to me by one of you guys, but it's a Rory Gilmore Reading Club pick. So I had to add it to my list. What the heck? Is this true? Okay, so there's multiple parts, and this book is like 244 pages, so not that bad. It says that Rosemary Woodhouse and her struggling actor husband, Guy, move into the Bramford, an old New York City apartment building with an ominous reputation and mostly elderly residents. Neighbors Roman and Minnie soon come nosing around to welcome the Woodhouses into the building, and despite Rosemary's reservations about their eccentricity and the weird noises that she keeps hearing, her husband takes a shine to them. Shortly after Guy lands a plum Broadway role, Rosemary becomes pregnant, and the cast of it start taking a special interest in her welfare. As the sickened Rosemary becomes increasingly isolated, she begins to suspect that the Cassavant circle is not what it seems. Whew. When was this written? This was written in 1967, but this edition is by Pegasus Books, and this edition is from 2010. I gotta say, this sounds creepy. So those are 5 books. 4 of them that were either recommended to me by you guys or that was on a book club or Rory Gilmore challenge. And those books again are Mexican Gothic for the Top Shelf Society book club. So that will be week 1. And the rest are the 4 books that I just randomly selected today. So in those include Pet Sematary, which I will be reading in week 2. The Broken Girls by Simone St. James, which I will be reading in week 3. The Woman in Black by Susan Hill, so that will be in week 4. And week 5, Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. So thank you to Dasha for Pet Sematary. Thank you to the follower and friend who recommended The Broken Girls. Thank you to Tracy for The Woman in Black. And I am looking forward to reading Rosemary's Baby and crossing this book off of my Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge. Now, if you're wondering what I'm going to do as a second book for each one of those weeks, I do have a whole bunch more recommendations. And so I will have a part 2. So I'm going to forward into the selection Sawkill Girls and the Mysterious Benedict Society. So look forward to that video coming out soon. And let me know how you like this, if you had fun recommending the books, if you had fun watching me sort of randomly select which books that I wanted to read. And if you have a recommendation for me, I would love if you left it down below. So part 2 is going to be posted next week. And essentially in part 2, I'm going to be forwarding those 2 books, as well as your other recommendations. The only thing is that I am going to have these in possession in some way. So either through the library, like a physical copy, an audiobook, or an ebook. And then from there, I'm going to be choosing 5 additional books. So I still have quite a few more recommendations that I'm going to go through. Hopefully those books will be coming in, and I'm going to try, and if I have like a surplus, then I'm going to roll the dice again and select what books I want to read. So thank you for being a part of my selection. I hope it was fun. I hope it also gives you some recommendations or some ideas of what you want to read for Vlogtober or October if you're not doing Vlogtober. And now to end this video, I'm going to be doing a Portuguese word of the day. So my Portuguese word of the day is água. Água. It sounds like aqua, but it's água. Queria uma água fresca, por favor. I would like some fresh water, please. Please let me know what your excitement level is for Vlogtober. Right now, for me, it's pretty high. And these books, I am so looking forward to. I'll also be sharing with you soon, probably in the part 2, books and movies that I want to be watching during Vlogtober. So if you have any recommendations of shows, I would love to hear them. Shows, movies. You know I'm going to be watching Hocus Pocus, because that is like the ultimate. And Sarah Jessica Parker is just in Bette Midler, and anyhow, that's everything for today. Bye!